Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm your host Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at very spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we review Night of the Missing, available on Screambox. Ooh. All right, with me this week are my co-hosts, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
If I had a box, it would be Screaming, I'm sure.
No, Jeff.
I have no boxes.
You tried.
I have no boxes.
My 12-year-old
I'm doing
mind,
great.
My 12-year-old mind just went nuts on that one. So.
I'm coming down. Oh, you will. Get your mind out of the gutter, dude. I'm coming down from the Thanksgiving
yes, you are.
Fest.
Stop it with the words. Stop it with the words.
Oh, Jeff. Just digging that sex hole. Huh?
Oh, it's Gorge Fest.
Oh,
you and your Gorge Fest.
I don't even know what you guys are thinking.
Oh, it's not clean. It's not clean, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on before Jeff buries us completely. All right, also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
I'm great.
How great are you?
I feel like I need to say cheap as hell. How cheap is it? Cheap as hell, but great. I'm so great. Like, it's out with Thanksgiving, and I guess we're on to, Merry Gothmas here.
Merry Gothmas. Oh, okay. I like that. I can get down with that.
Creepmas. It depends how you feel.
Krampusmas.
Yeah. I'm real butthurt about Krampus right now, okay? Krampus is a sore spot for me now. One, two, three, four too many freaking stupid Krampus movies. No, thank you.
All right, maybe Christopher can save me from all this
yeah.
butthurt. Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker,
Christopher G. Mohr.
Hello, Clarice. Tell me when your box is screaming.
You can always tell when you get Krampus.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you get a Krampus in your screaming box?
Wait a second. I missed that one.
Wait a second. I don't think I'm going to repeat it.
Well, what we're actually here for, other than the sad puns, are to review Night of the Missing. We're going to start off giving you our first impressions. Those first impressions will be spoiler-free. Then we'll dive into discussion, and we'll get into a spoiler or two, I'm certain, and then we'll wrap these up with a score 1 to 5, which is always interesting for an anthology film, and our favorite scene. And we may all pick the same scene. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. All right, let's take a look at the card, and then we'll get things going. But before we do, we hope you enjoy this, not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, and share with a friend buttons. Each click will help us find more horror fans.
Just like you.
Boom. There's a shirt in there somewhere. All right. Night of the Missing, available streaming on Screambox, beginning November 28th, 2023. The synopsis: the sheriff of a small town is a serial killer. A mysterious woman visits her and starts a conversation about the crimes she has committed.
See, yeah, okay.
All right. Directed by Samuel Gonzalez Jr. and Matthew Hersh, maybe a few others. Written by Samuel Gonzalez Jr. and Gigi, Gustin, maybe a few others. The cast includes Meredith Thomas, Jill Awbrey, Gigi Gustin, Bill Moseley, Sheila Ball, Moriah and Boone, Jenna, Kanell, Joseph JoJo Martinez, Justin Miles, and Stephon Strickland.
Very
Stephon?
good.
I think it might be Stephon, but we'll go with that.
Whatever. It was pretty tight.
98%. All right. No. But anyway, let's get on with this. Christopher G. Mohr, sir, what was your first impression of Night of the Missing?
Well, it's more of the Night of the Short Films. When I started watching this, I didn't really know much about it. I didn't realize it was sort of an anthology of sorts. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Actress Gigi Gustin, who I know from a short film many years ago called Springfield 3, I remember her talking about a short film, Night Flirt, that's been on the film festival circuit. And I noticed that that was one of the shorts that's in this. So it's definitely a compilation of shorts that they try to integrate with the wraparound, which didn't work for me just structure-wise. But I'll say that a lot of the shorts it almost felt like, Amazing Stories. It felt like some of the shorts felt like versions of like Amazing Stories, more
Interesting.
some
Yeah.
more horror, some more fantastical than anything else, I guess. But yeah, the wraparound I didn't like at all. But I did like some of the elements of the short films, and it was also nice to see Jenna Kanell, who was in the movie Renfield, her having in a short spot there. But yeah, I think as someone who's made an anthology and as someone who's had some of my short films thrown into an anthology very haphazardly, this as much as they tried to work hard to sort of make these short stories part of the overarching wraparound, it didn't work for me. And I think, but the individual stories do have interesting elements, and some of those shorts including the wraparound, are shot pretty well in parts. But again, it's got some interesting ideas in it, but as a feature film, it doesn't work so well, and it's also very short to begin with, and then you've got almost like a minute long overhead drone shot, so which seems to be the current thing with a lot of indie filmmakers these days, which kind of stretches it out. And the opening's not great, but I don't know. I think a lot of the shorts, a lot of the stories have some interesting elements, and it's well acted for the most part, but overall it's not cohesive as a feature, but it has some individual parts that work to a certain degree.
Individual parts. It's all about those individual parts. Crystal Cleveland, what was your first impression of Night of the Missing?
So I didn't know anything about this going in as well, and I will say that I was surprised to find out it was an anthology. When I first started watching it, I was like, oof, that acting, horrible. Like, sorry, but like, as much as I would love to defend the janitor, I cannot defend the janitor in this case. It just totally took me out, and I was like, oh, if this is the way it's going to be, I'm going to be in for a ride. Thankfully, all the acting is not that bad, and it got considerably better. I loved the blonde girl, the hot chick.
Gigi Gustin.
Yeah, I hate to call her the hot chick, but she's super hot, and she was great. I really, really liked her. I didn't so much like her short as much. I thought it was kind of weird, and I didn't understand what happened. I couldn't figure it out, really. I was very confused. I was like, at first I thought she might be gay, and then I thought, well, maybe she's not. I felt very weird about the story of it, but she was great. Jenna was phenomenal. I mean, she's a fantastic actress, and I think the blonde was also in Hersh too. Again,
yeah,
in that same one.
Briefly at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and she did great in that too. So I dug that. The shorts are odd because some of them are like really, really short, like super short, oddly short. And I agree with Christopher that they don't flow, they don't fit together to me. I do think the quality of them as far as cinematography and stuff kind of works. I can get behind that, but it doesn't feel cohesive as a film, and that's unfortunate. Some of them I like more than others, but that's the way it is with all anthology films. All in all, like, I didn't hate it. It felt quick enough. And as with all anthology films, if you don't like one, just sit around and wait for the next one to come, and you'll probably find something you like. So I was entertained overall, which is good. Just there's some faults with this. I don't know how these could have been fixed if someone went and just bought shorts and pushed them together. I mean, then I guess you got what you paid for, because that's what it feels like.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Jeff Mohr, what was your first impression of Night of the Missing?
It's okay. I do think the wraparound is stretching a bit to connect at least one of these.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, but and the one character in the wraparound, I just don't understand their whole point.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that later. As far as acting goes, I was okay with it. I didn't understand a couple of them, and one I really liked. I don't know if I mentioned them yet or not, but there's basically 4 shorts plus the wraparound's not the right thing. Connecting story, I guess.
It is a wraparound. No, it's a wraparound.
Yeah, it's more of a wraparound though.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm it was okay. I didn't go, oh wow, but I enjoyed watching them, even though I was thoroughly puzzled at a couple of them. But it's horror, and that happens. So
It's horror, and that happens. So I had a much better experience with this movie than you guys seem to. I thought, having all them missing, because basically they're in a police station and there's all these missing posters on the wall, and this crazy woman comes in and starts telling all the stories from the missing poster wall. So to me, that was fine. That's good.
Yeah, if that would have been what it was about, that would have made a lot more sense. But it wasn't.
Wait, it wasn't? Okay.
No.
It seemed to be to me. I didn't have a problem with it
that's
being.
what she told, but that's what. Yeah, we'll get. It's sorry.
Yeah,
it's
so
your first thoughts.
Yeah, so I didn't have a problem with that. It worked fine for me, and I thought the cinematography was really good. There was lighting that was going on that I found interesting. Like the lights would. Somebody would, they would simulate a car driving by, and the way the light shined on the two in the office, because the lights go out early. The lights go out. It's kind of like, oh no, right, you're in trouble. So everything's kind of in the dark. But anyway, the 4 stories that we have, I enjoyed each one for its own purpose. Because they're for the most part they're more light and whimsical. At least 2 of them are. Even though they are horror centric, they're not quite as. They're not Terrifier. Let's put it that way. They're not going for that direction. But one of them I thought stood out, and that's the night flirt thing, and that's just because like Gigi is so energetic in that role that it. And then of course you've got Bill Moseley doing some vocal talents in there, and so there's a lot going on in there that livens up the piece and a little bit more than the rest. But I don't know. I enjoyed bits and pieces of each, so I found it to be a perfectly suitable anthology. A little better than just shoving, 4 random shorts together. To me, it felt a little structured better than you guys are giving it credit for, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I said. I can say exactly what you said. I like bits and pieces of each one.
I do too.
But
I think the same. I think we're agreeable on that. I like
think
bits
you're
and
thinking we're
pieces.
disagreeing more than what we're not.
I like bits and pieces, but it's like, it's like only liking like one section of the buffet. It's like, you don't like everything overall. It doesn't all fit together. It's just individual pieces. I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, a lot of them are shot very well. And they have visually, they all have individual, almost like different ways they shoot it. I mean, from the, we're in Spoilerville now, I guess, but
we're in spoilers, yeah.
The miniature one, how they kind of shoot it.
Oh yeah.
Using photography that kind of shows that kind of, I forgot the name of the photography, but it's a way of making stuff small or big or whatever, and how they kind of integrate that. It's really cool, and didn't affect me so much when there's like CGI fire and stuff. There's a good amount of special effects throughout a lot of this segments, or then there's like almost like the Stephen King's It, great value versions in that one little short that's kind of interesting.
The ice cream one.
Yeah, we all scream.
But then the Night Flirt, I think, it has that kind of has almost like an 80s. It's set in the 80s, but it has like a kind of 80s vibe to it. And visually, I think that was more interesting how it was shot, because there's almost like a poltergeist thing that happens in it. Which again, a lot of these shorts, I was like, you guys are like, what is going? I don't understand. Why is it? A lot of them kind of ended kind of weird. Like, I don't understand what's happening here. I guess maybe that's the one connecting thing. They all made me like. I felt like at the end of each one, I was like, huh. Maybe that was the connecting thing between all of them. They just made me go, what the hell's going on?
No, I think what it was supposed to be is this woman is making up these stories. It's the sheriff that killed all these people. She killed them all. And then she's making up stories, telling the sheriff these crazy stories. That's why they don't make any damn sense. The sheriff is a serial killer, like it says. She's been murking all these people, and then that's why I.
She's got a victim in the car, right?
But then they give her monster sounds. So
I know.
Is she a serial? Is she? So then it kind
of. And did she? Is she imagining this woman to kind of? I don't know.
Like her conscience or something. Oh, that's an interesting
or to
thought.
give her to give explanations for the people that they kill, because she's not in the story. She doesn't kill any of them, right?
Yeah, but then the janitor wouldn't have seen it happen. See her shoot her. So
yeah, that's true.
So she was there,
and
then the janitor saw her walk in too.
We don't know what happens to the janitor, do we?
Well, the
janitor comes in with a bunch of cookies.
Yeah, and she killed him.
I know, but she didn't.
We never saw
that. Was not on there. Yeah, you didn't see it.
We never saw a body.
And when she's hiding the bodies, he's not there. He's just a woman.
And then why is she putting him in a Santa sack?
And to put him in a Santa sack, yeah.
Well, what was the point of that? It's like at first I like, is she supposed to be Krampus?
I think that's how they were trying to make it Christmassy.
Well, it made me confused. I thought there was going to be an explanation, like, well, her Santa is like serial killer, possessed demon Santa. So then, like, again, even the wraparound was like, what? Well, that was my biggest takeaway. Is like I felt like if you had a video camera on my face, it was scrunching up at the end of every one of these. Like, I'm confused.
Okay. So I liked. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I liked We All Scream because of one thing.
What's that?
The arm that stretched out, and I knew. You probably knew it too, but I knew it, and that's what I used to have nightmares when I was a kid. My parents were always warning me about kidnappers and don't take random strangers. And I used to have this nightmare where I was sitting on the grassy knoll, sitting on the terrace in front of our house, and this car would come by, and this big long arm would come out and grab me and pull me into the car.
Makes me think of
gives me the
okay. So
heebie-jeebies right now. So that's what got me on that one, and right away I was like, oh.
Okay, what I liked with that though, I loved that bleeding ice cream. I loved
the bleeding ice cream. Okay, cool.
I loved it.
Yep.
I was like, that is cool. There's parts of each one that I like. That's what I'm saying. It may sound like I feel like Christopher and I are on the same page, and we're downing some things, we're picking on some things, but
to me,
that's kind of what you do as a reviewer. This
would be a good short films block at a film festival, but it's not good as a feature. They don't connect enough or make sense enough for it to be thrown together. They're each individually have their merits, but I think as a whole, yeah, it's just.
I was gonna say, don't they go together as much as like VHS stories go together? I mean, I didn't have a problem with that because
but there's more of an interconnecting thing with that. It's just a bunch.
I feel like this one was trying to weave them together more than VHS does.
The problem is the VHS stuff they were made with this in thought of what they were going to create, as opposed to this. It's like, I'm going to take this older short I made this time, this other short that I made, and then throw some of the other things, and then we'll figure out a way to sort of sew it together Frankenstein wise. But it still to me it sticks out like a sore thumb to where it doesn't really mesh, because the stories are so extremely differing between them all. It's really hard to say that like, oh, these all fit together like a Russian doll or something. They just don't vibe together, And I think, and then the overarching thing, that's probably my least favorite part is the overarching story because it doesn't.
I like the intro a lot.
I hated the intro.
I like the intro.
If I'd been, the intro I thought was very.
Well, here you have this janitor dude, and he's like, I'm never gonna. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm never gonna get over what I saw. I'm just never gonna get it. And
maybe I'm not thinking of the right intro. I'm thinking of where the cop is. We see a patrol car at night. I think it's in the rain, and we're hearing the radio going, "Where are you? Do you need help? Do you need backup? Are you okay?" Blah blah blah.
She's
and
like,
we see blood. Gradually, they reveal things about what's going on, and so
there's a body in the back of the car.
That I like.
Okay.
It was shot well, but to me, it felt like a bunch of like extra shots they threw together to make an intro.
Well, it also seemed odd timing wise, considering that was like such lovely, beautiful weather. And then that evening or whatever, I don't even know. I couldn't understand it, how it fit with the rest of it. I understand that's the sheriff or whatever, but I feel like someone thought that, oh my God, this is so good. This fits together so well. This is awesome. Because in their mind, they made the connections. But I, as a viewer, cannot see those connections at all. That's the issue. And I get it. Like as a filmmaker, sometimes you get in your head and you think everyone's going to understand it the way you do. And that didn't happen.
So maybe, that woman that shows up and tells the stories, maybe she's the, sort of like you mentioned, but like, I don't know, like the ghost of Christmas past almost, comes and tells these stories of... She's one of the people she killed. Her face is on the board. I was thinking her face didn't show up there until afterwards, but she's there. She comes out, tells the stories, and sort of tries to appeal to the conscience or haunt this killer. So the more I talk about it, the more I'm kind of buying it. But the woman threw me. I was kind of like, what the hell?
The more I talk about it, the more I'm buying it.
The more we're talking about it, the less I buy it.
Talking yourself into it.
No, crazy. Did you like the blood coming out of all the help wanted, or not the help wanted, but the missing posters? Help wanted.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, sure.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Make an impression. All right.
No.
Was there any effect that stood out? I know that Jeff, you like the stretching arm, and you.
I loved a couple things. I love the bleeding ice cream, and these are going to be my favorite scenes. So whatever. I love the miniature when you see Jenna like laying down in the road. It looked the way she was laying. She looked really creepy. And then how he picks up one that's like kind of smashed laying down. I like that. I like the ghost girlfriend's makeup, the all white with the white contacts. So those are some of my standout ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that You Promised where she ended up murking all those crazy people.
That was the one that was directed by a different director.
And was the guy that came in at the end, was that the
that was the probation officer.
Yeah.
Yes, yep. I know that, but the actor who plays him.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I was thinking it was the guy, I'm trying to think of what it is. It was a film we reviewed, I think, a year or two ago. Out in the woods, out in the wilderness. The Ranger. It's the guy who plays the Ranger.
No.
It wasn't him? Okay. For some reason I thought it was him, but I couldn't tell because he was acting so strange. Anyway, now that I've embarrassed myself, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Well, I get people confused all the time. Like...
And give our score and our favorite scene. I believe Crisper, you're first.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I liked parts of it. I just don't think it all executed well together. I'll give it a 3. I think it's got some interesting elements in different parts of it. As for favorite scene, I don't know. I think this because it gave me the biggest laugh is when the night flirt, and maybe it's because it's got Gigi Gustin in it, but when the whole montage where her TV goes down and she's doing all these different things, and then it goes to her masturbating, I laughed so hard.
That's weird.
Because I
God.
was not expecting to go to that, and as someone that kind of has done that in my own gut punched.
I thought you said your own apartments where you
don't we all as a single person. But the montage thing, because I wasn't expecting it, and because I've kind of done that in my own montages, I found that to be very entertaining and made me laugh out loud because I was like, "Whoa!" So yeah, I think for some reason that kind of made me chuckle.
Chuggle?
You guys are giving me a hard time about my. Yeah, never mind.
I don't even know where we're going to go with all this. All right, Crystal, your score and favorite scene for Night of the Missing.
I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Okay.
And my favorite scene, I'll actually take something different. So in the miniatures, when you have all the other miniatures like lined up, they're kind of actually staggered in front of her, and then they start to walk toward her. I think they did a good job at heavily editing those people and making them look creepy and kind of surreal.
And kind of plastic, yeah.
And then the way they moved, I thought was I kind of enjoyed the whole thing. It was kind of weird and odd, and I don't know. I like weird and odd. So
weird and odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Jeff, your score, your favorite scene.
I'm going to mention something else too, though. The more I think about we all scream, there's more stuff in there. Like another thing from my childhood that we were always warned about is never get in an empty refrigerator. Like a junk refrigerator.
Yeah.
Because there was always stories about at that time.
Or something?
Yeah, at that time they did not have a way to get out once they latched. If you were inside, there was only an outdoor thing, and so you suffocated pretty quick. So, yeah.
You suffocate? Oh wow! Oh yeah,
in that freezer.
Okay.
So that had several things in there that I like. But my favorite segment is You Promised.
Oh, nice.
So I'm giving this a 3.25, and I'm going with the scene where his girlfriend in You Promised gets it. It was.
Oh yeah, it was so quick.
It was a tension-filled scream. There's
Yikes.
everybody screaming at each other, and then boom,
I like the knife scene in that too at the end.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm.
He throws a knife and misses.
Oh, at the end, yeah.
All right, so for
That
me,
dude looks like Dane Cook, by the way, the lead actor. I was like, that dude looks like Dane Cook. I was like, is that Dane Cook? Like a few years ago or something?
Well, good for him. I was going to give this. Well, maybe depends on your. I was going to give it a 3.5. I will give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it.
There you go.
And I'm going to take my favorite scene is the nightmare and the scream, especially the scream and Night Flirt, because it is this well-paced or well-timed, slow coming scream. And you just see it coming, and we have a scream queen, I think, and Gigi Gustin. She's good.
She does an amazing job with that scream. I think she's a standout probably of the whole thing in that Night Flirt.
But yeah, that the whole thing, plus like the lively dancing she has at the beginning when she's dancing with the mop or broom or whatever it is. I wasn't really looking at the mop or the broom. So. Can you blame me?
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. But anyway, I thought, what?
You guys give me a hard time for my puns or whatever at the beginning.
Your
And
puns.
what puns? What?
Nothing.
So anyway, that's our review for Night of the Missing. It's an anthology, a Christmas anthology. If you stretch it quite a bit, right, guys? Stretch it quite a bit. No,
because you don't buy ice cream from an ice cream person during winter.
If you live in California or southern U.S., Florida.
No.
We did have an ice cream truck. Doc, when we shot Knobgoblins, we did have an ice cream truck in the neighborhood.
I know.
We did.
Isn't that crazy?
that was in
like,
the
no,
fall.
we,
That was.
we
We
actually
get
get
them
them
too,
sometimes. But is it winter? It could happen. I don't care. I was just making a joke. God. I was just making
Oh my gosh! All right, well there you go. We hope you. It's streaming now on Screambox, so go check it out. Let
Yes.
us know what you think of it in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on gathering up shorts and putting them into an anthology? Is that a thing we should do or a thing we shouldn't do? Ooh.
it happens all the time.
I know it does all the time.
I like
Mohr
shorts.
knows
I
for
like
sure,
shorts.
right? How many of your shorts have been in movies like that?
Who, mine?
Christopher? Yeah.
There's two anthologies. Yeah, there's Zombie World 2 and Watch If You Dare have some of my shorts in
Whoa.
them. But they just threw them together. It's
Does
not
one of them
really-
have two of them in it?
Yeah. Well, I think Watch If You Dare has Foodie and Knobgoblins in it.
And then the other one has what?
Disengaged in it.
Disengaged.
Yeah.
Nice.
And of course, Worst Laid Plans has a segment, but we directed it specifically for.
But that was all meant to be.
Yeah, it
put
wasn't
together.
aggregated together.
And that film's coming out soon, right?
It's been out. Screambox, actually.
No, he's
Right?
talking about he's
I'm
talking about
talking
Worst Laid Plans.
Worst Laid Plans.
I don't
Okay.
know when. I mean, hopefully, I'm assuming probably early next year. I would assume, but they haven't told us any deets yet.
No deeds. Well, as soon as we know them, we'll share with you. Maybe we'll even review it here and kick
Ooh.
Christopher to the curb so he
Oh,
doesn't have to.
Well, I have to
Well,
too
makes
because
me
I'm
very
in
nervous.
it. I can't do it.
Oh, you're in it too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can't
All
do
right.
it,
So Jeff and I will
so-
do it. We'll just
No
tear it up.
problem.
Yeah.
No,
Go ahead.
Well, we'll
Not
have to
at all,
have
not at all.
Dave the Turd Master. We'll have to.
The Turd
Yes.
Master. Wow.
I
what a
don't need
dad
that, but he's the one that says stuff like.
Mm-hmm.
This is like
All
You
right.
know,
had a turd,
that's
you
where
know?
I got my Krampus tier list from Dave. I should have dedicated it to Dave.
There you go. All right. Well, rambling on. All right, guys. Crystal, Christopher, Jeff, thank you for joining me. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let's get out of here. Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.